Have you been trying to lose weight, but nothing seems to work? Maybe you feel like you've tried everything. You've tried all the diets, you've done all the things that people have told you to do, but either it didn't make a difference or it just didn't last. Maybe you lost some weight initially, but then you just regained it all and maybe even added a few extra pounds for good measure. There are a lot of possible reasons why our efforts to lose weight often don't work out in quite the way we hope. But in this video, I'm going to talk about the 5 most common reasons that I see that block or sabotage people's weight loss attempts. And I do want you to stay all the way to the end because I'm going to share a tool with you that you can use to reverse all 5 of these reasons for yourself and actually many other factors that might be standing in your way. So you definitely don't want to miss that. Now, if you've watched me here on YouTube before, then welcome back. But if you are new to my channel, then welcome. I'm Dr. Kim Foster and I'm an MD turned coach, wellness expert, and entrepreneur. So I was a family doctor for 20 years before leaving the healthcare system to focus entirely on my wellness business. And I am also the founder of the Wellness Coach Academy, where we train and certify aspiring wellness coaches, and we help them to build their freedom-based businesses. So here on YouTube, I share wellness tips and business tips and really anything else that you might need to master the art of living well. And so if that sounds good, then be sure to subscribe and go ahead and hit the notification bell. Now, let's talk about what might be going wrong with your weight loss efforts. So like I said, I'm going to go through 5 common reasons why people struggle to lose weight. The first one is kind of the foundational one, and it's really the one that all the other ones are kind of built on. It's also the one that is so rarely talked about in health and wellness content, which to me is a huge reason why weight loss is so hard for people. And it is this: ignoring the mindset elements. Okay, so I know that you might feel tempted to just skip this video right now because I know that you want a tactic. I know you want a hack or a specific strategy, but honestly, this is the missing piece to the weight loss puzzle for so many people. And it truly is the piece that everyone ignores. And it's not your fault if this is something that you ignored too, because almost nobody in the wellness industry talks about this. There's so much infighting about which diet is the right one. Is it keto? Is it paleo? Is it vegan? And truly, all of that is a secondary thing, but it's very distracting. And when people are, digging into their positions about the one best diet, it can feel like that's all you need to do is just choose a side and that's going to be your ticket. But there's so much more to it. Your mindset is incredibly important, and I'm going to explain why. So the reason is because you can't out-action a non-supportive mindset, meaning you can't just grit your teeth and do the thing and force yourself to do a bunch of things and change your diet and start exercising and all the things if underneath all of that action you're taking, you're not addressing what you believe and what you think. So let me just give you a very specific example to help you understand. So let's say that you have a belief about yourself that you can't resist potato chips. So the solutions that are commonly offered up are clean out your pantry of all the chips and don't buy chips or keep them in your house. Or maybe choose a healthier substitute kind of chip, or learn how to bake your own sweet potato chips or something like that. So you go ahead and do those things. But then what happens when there are chips at a barbecue that you go to, or chips in the break room at work, or your partner really likes having chips at home? Whatever it is. If you have told yourself that you're helpless around chips, then guess how you'll behave when faced with your nemesis. If you do manage to resist, you'll feel miserable because all there is in your head is this negative mindset around deprivation. On the other hand, if you do eat those chips, you'll feel a whole lot of shame and regret. It's this no-win situation, which of course means that your experience of trying to lose weight feels very hard and very unpleasant, and that feeds into your story that losing weight is hard. And it just really makes it so much less likely that you are going to be able to stick to it. So this applies to all kinds of things other than potato chips, of course, but so much of this is about your story, your beliefs, your mindset, and the truth is you will eventually sabotage yourself unless you really examine your mindset and take the steps to change it. People get overly hung up on all of the practical steps, but that's just the surface level, like which diet, which food to eat, which foods not to eat. But what is very rarely discussed is who you need to become in order to make some changes. Yes, you need the practical steps, but unless you have the mindset to see it through, it just doesn't matter what the steps are. You won't take them. People get into heated debates about which diet is the best one, like I said. And while those experts are kind of duking it out over which is the real way to lose weight, the most important piece is being completely ignored. It's like everybody is over here in a heated debate about which is the best diet, and meanwhile over here, your mindset is getting no attention at all, and it is going to sabotage whatever diet you decide to choose. You do need to take action, definitely, but you also need to address your mindset. You need both. And if you don't pay any attention to that mindset, then nothing is going to work. Okay, so let's move on to the next reason why people's weight loss efforts often don't work, and that is viewing this as a temporary means to an end. So many people approach their weight loss efforts like a means to an end. Like, I hate doing this, but I need to do it for just a little while longer so that I can get on the other side and be slimmer, and then I'll be happy. Their plan is just to grit their teeth and hang in there until they can get to their target weight and get back to living like normal. But I'm going to spoil the ending here. When you go back to doing what you've always done, you will eventually regain the weight. I promise. There's no way that's not going to happen. When you go straight back to old patterns, it's just a matter of time before you regain the weight that you lost. Changes need to be sustainable, which means that you need to like those changes. They need to feel in alignment with you and your future self. So that means making some very smart and strategic decisions around what kinds of changes you're going to make. And it also means working on who your future self is and how you want her to live on a daily basis, which of course is mindset work, going back to reason number 1. But let's move on to the next reason, number 3, why people struggle, and it's this: all or nothing thinking. Okay, so tell me if this is familiar. You wreck your diet one day by having a cookie, and it really tastes good and you feel pretty bad about yourself, but then you immediately think, oh well, that's it. I killed my diet for today, so I just might as well eat the whole bag now. Sound familiar? Or tell me if this has ever happened to you. You intend to go to the gym, but then you realize that you don't really have a lot of time that day because you've actually got quite a bit on your plate right now. And so you think, well, if I can't go to the gym for an hour and get in a decent workout, then what's the point? So these are just a couple of examples of all or nothing thinking that completely gets in the way of making good choices. So with the cookie example, of course, this doesn't make any sense. Like, one cookie is not a problem. It's not a big deal. And it certainly doesn't mean that the whole entire day is ruined. You could just leave it at one cookie, really enjoy that cookie, and then just carry on with the rest of your day as you originally planned. There's absolutely no need to throw the baby out with the bathwater, but we twist these things around in our heads so that it actually feels like it's the only thing that we can do. Oh, well, I messed up, so let's just throw everything out. Let's just pile on the failure and I guess, start fresh tomorrow maybe. So with the gym example, when you really look at that, it also doesn't make any logical sense either, right? Is a 30-minute workout better than a 0-minute workout? For that matter, is a 5-minute workout better than a 0-minute workout? Yes, of course. Where did this rule come from that we need to go to the gym for an hour in order for it to be worthwhile? A lot of things come down to giving ourselves a bit of compassion and not needing things to be perfect. So ask yourself, am I expecting to execute everything perfectly? And if I can't, then I'm not going to try at all. Really examine your thoughts around that. Okay, so next up, reason number 4 why people struggle to lose weight is this: using shame and self-loathing to stay motivated. And of course, this is an awful way to approach things, but I know that so many of us start our weight loss or health journey out of disgust or shame, or we catch sight of ourselves in a photograph and think, oh my God, is that what I look like? Okay, that's it. So the diet is going to start tomorrow. I realize that these kinds of instant thoughts are hard to stop from having, but you don't want to stay there. Maybe this provides the initial catalyst for making some changes in your life, but to stick with your plan for the long run, you're going to really need a lot of self-compassion and a lot of self-love. People often think, oh, I'll feel good about myself when I lose the weight. But that's actually backwards. You need to feel good about yourself first, and then you'll be able to lose the weight. You need to be a match for this new self-image that you want to occupy, or else you'll find all kinds of ways to sabotage yourself unconsciously. You need to believe that you are worth taking exquisite care of yourself, and then it's not a struggle. It's not something that you're forcing yourself to do. And this is not just my opinion. There is evidence that we are so much better at making changes when we feel good rather than when we feel bad about ourselves. Okay, the final reason that I want to go into is this: having an external locus of control. Okay, so if you're unfamiliar with this term, let me explain. When you have an internal locus of control, you believe that you are in charge of what happens to you. So you're calling the shots and you can make changes, you have the power. An external locus of control then is, of course, the opposite. You think that some other factor other than yourself is in control of what happens. So other factors will decide whether you can lose weight, like maybe it's your genetics or maybe your age, things like that. So having an external locus of control can really work against you in a couple of different ways when it comes to weight loss. For one thing, it will make you feel helpless, and that is very demotivating when it comes to making changes. So this is when you think things like, what's the point? I'm in menopause and everyone gains weight after menopause. Or everyone in my family is heavy, it's just the way that it is. And when you think things like that, are you really going to take the steps that you need to take? Or will you just kind of view it as a bit of a lost cause? The steps might have actually worked, but if you don't take them, we'll never know. Another way an external locus of control can interfere with things is when you view your new eating plan as something that somebody else is telling you to do. So one of my students inside the Wellness Coach Academy had this come up with a client of hers recently. So her client said that she wouldn't be able to lose weight because she just didn't like being told what she could and couldn't eat. If you're viewing a diet as something that you're being told to do, something that is like outside of your control, that inevitably brings up the very natural feeling of rebellion that we all have. It's totally normal to feel like, oh, I'll show you. Watch me eat all these brownies all by myself. You may not actually have that thought, consciously, but that is definitely what you're feeling and definitely what's happening. In fact, it's even pleasurable, right? To somehow exert your independence and rebel against the rules of your diet. So that brings us to the end of the 5 common reasons why people's weight loss efforts often don't work. As a recap, we talked about number 1, ignoring the mindset elements altogether. Number 2, viewing things as a temporary means to an end. Number 3 is all or nothing thinking. Number 4 is using shame or self-loathing to stay motivated. And number 5 is having an external locus of control. Now, if this topic resonated with you and you would like a little more guidance on how to do the inner work that I mentioned, of course, several times during this video, then I have put together a workbook that can really help you to do exactly that. And you can download it just by clicking the link in the description box below. This tool is called Change Your Mindset, change your life. And it's a workbook that I created with several prompts to help you really crack open your mind and take an honest look at the stories and the beliefs that have been holding you back from creating that lasting change in your health and your life. So as always, I would love to hear from you on this. What was your biggest takeaway from this particular video? Was there something that I said that gave you an insight into some of the things that might have been blocking your success in trying to lose weight? Go ahead and let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. Okay, that's a wrap for this video. Take care, have a wonderful day, and I will see you again very soon.